Hello, and welcome to Waves of YA, a podcast focused on young adult literacy, brought to you by the Ocean County Library's Teen Literacy Workgroup.
Hello, everyone. I am Chris over at Island Heights, and with me today we have
Rachel at Barnegat.
At Jackson.
And today we are going to be talking about Book Tok, the trends on there, and the books that we've read from there. The first question is super broad. It's what Book Tok books have you read, and were they worth the hype?
Ooh.
It's broad and then also a challenge.
Yeah, it kind of is, because there are so many that I've read that trying to go through the list in my head, it kind of feels impossible. Oh, man. I don't know. I really have to think about this one. So if anyone else has an answer right away, please feel free and jump in, because I'm clueless.
I can name a couple of my favorites. I've read quite a few Book Tok books, but I can name a couple of my favorites. I think my favorite Book Tok book or favorite author from Book Tok that I've ever read is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Oh my gosh. Highly recommend if you have not read it. She has to be one of my favorite teen authors of all time. I love her so much. All of her books are insanely funny. They are just laugh out loud funny, and they're so relatable. And if you love rom-coms, I highly recommend her. But I also just connect with Better Than the Movies because I'm also a lover of rom-coms, like the main character is. So I just connect with it so much. But if you don't know what it's about a girl named Liz whose childhood crush Michael comes back after moving to Texas. He comes back to town, and Liz is like, that's my meet cute, and we're meant to be together, and we're going to run off into the sunset happily together now. So she enlists the help of Wes, who's her annoying next door neighbor, to kind of help her get Michael, and her end goal is for Michael to ask her to prom and to live happily ever after. But it's just so funny. I highly recommend it. And the sequel actually just came out in the fall called Nothing Like the Movies, which I haven't read yet because I just finished my reread of Better Than the Movies, and it was even better the second time than the first. So I'm going to read the sequel next. But Lynn Painter has a few other books. She also has The Do-Over. She has Betting on You. And there's also some Better Than the Movies like novellas too that are free to read on Simon Teen's website. That's probably my favorite.
I think most people have read ACOTAR, A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I enjoyed them a lot. I feel like they could have been shorter in places where I'm like, this could be tightened up. They're fun, they're enjoyable. And I also liked that they're one of the emerging adult category ones where it's kind of like part of it's in YA, some of it's an adult, because we're like, we don't know what to do with our protagonist being 19, because it's a new category for publishing of like, hey, you know what? The baby adults, as I was referring to myself at that age, was like, yeah, okay, I got out of college, or I'm like in college, but I'm like, I'm not a full-formed adult. Having that genre exist is so cool, because like, I'm not ready for just reading James Patterson, but I've aged out of a lot of the YA stuff where I'm like, oh, and now back to like, yeah, read the YA, it's fine. But like, I liked having that bridge age group, and I want to see more in that age group. I haven't read it, but
The dragon one.
Fourth Wing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, you mean like Fourth Wing?
Yeah, the dragon one that I haven't read it. But like that hits that same age group, and I like seeing that age group represented, even though I have no interest in reading Fourth Wing. But that's more of a like, it's high fantasy, it's very long, it's a lot of political maneuvering and stuff, and I'm like, that's just not my thing.
Yeah, I think I've seen that age group be referred to as new adult. I was so glad they have that too, because when I was in college aging out of YA books, I still read YA because I didn't like any of the adult books that were out there and that I saw. So I like that new adult is now about college and getting your first job and falling in love for the first time. And I was like, oh, it's so nice. It's so for me.
Yeah, like
but I've never read ACOTAR. I'm just starting to read Throne of Glass now. I get intimidated by how long the books are. But I'm tired of seeing references online and not getting it. So I just started reading Throne of Glass, but I haven't gone to ACOTAR yet. But I think that's an incompleted series, right? Is she writing more?
She's writing more for that one.
Yeah.
Just like the sisters are getting their own spin-off things going. I enjoyed them, but I'm not like the rabid fans that are like, I'm in love with them. Like, I enjoyed it. This was enjoyable. Like, I'm not like desperately waiting for the next one. So I'm like, when the next one comes up, it'll be a fun surprise for me. I'm like, I'll know because it's part of my job, but like...
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm definitely part of the rabid fan category. Yeah, because the ACOTAR is a really good one, and that was definitely one that was influenced from Book Tok for me. But if I had to think of another series, probably the Inheritance games was really it for me. because it was one of those books that I saw all the time. And I'm like, I don't really think I want to go and read it. But then I kept seeing everyone's videos. And I'm like, all right, it's time to crack and see what makes this book so incredible. And that's probably one of my top ones next to ACOTAR, even though they're like completely different genres.
TJ Klune's House on Cerulean Sea and then the sequel are like really, like, I love TJ Klune, so I know I've already been reading his stuff, but seeing House on Cerulean Sea get that Book Talk backing, I was like, yes, validation, like more people are going to read it. So like having that pop and a sequel like timed together was like really exciting.
I also really enjoyed A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I'm not much of a thriller mystery reader, but I was very surprised by that book. That book, I think, got a big spike when Netflix announced that they were making a series about it. But that's a really good one. It's definitely not a cozy mystery. It is more in the thriller suspense vibe. But it kept me guessing until the last page. And the plot twist at the end was very interesting. And I highly recommend it if you haven't read it yet. Or if you're new to like the mystery thriller genre, I think that's a great book to start with too.
And that's the where they're recording the podcast, right? To Solve the Murder, or is that a different book series or something?
No, I think you might be thinking of A Long Stretch of Bad Days by Mindy McGinnis. That one is about a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is about a girl named Pip. For her senior project, she wants to investigate the murder of Andy Bell. The police say her boyfriend Sal Singh murdered her and then took his own life from the guilt. But Pip doesn't believe that's what actually happened. So for her senior project, she's telling her guidance counselor that she wants to look into the case more, but her ulterior motive is that she wants to prove that Sal didn't actually murder her.
Oh, maybe I might be mixing the two together then.
Yeah. I mean, that's another great mystery book. I don't think it's necessarily trendy on Book Talk, but A Long Stretch of Bad Days by Mindy McGinnis is another really great thriller book. I'd also like to highlight Powerless by Lauren Roberts. That's a really great epic romantasy book. It's very much a cross between The Red Queen and Hunger Games. When I started reading this book, I was ultimately like, this is so Hunger Games. So if you like the Hunger Games, this is a really good book for you. It's basically about people who are divided between the elites who have powers and then the ordinaries who don't have powers. But the ordinaries are actually like banned from the kingdom, so Peyton, who's an ordinary, has to pretend she has powers and hide. And then she gets roped into what they call the purging trials, where they kill each other, just like the Hunger Games. So it's very good if you like books like that.
Oh, another one that I like that's fantasy is Holly Black's A Cruel Prince series. I feel like it gets listed with the Inherited series a lot on Book Talk recommendations, where I see those two together. I love Holly Black since her first book, Tithe, especially because she's a local girl. So I'm like, yes, Jersey representation. Even though like her stuff is for Cruel Prince is like a totally fancy world, but like you can feel the Jersey vibes.
Good to know.
It just has like an energy to it where I'm like, yes, I connect with this, and like your personality of like, I could see this Faith girl living in Jersey with that attitude.
Yeah, it's interesting when you say that, because I read Holly Black when she was writing children's books. So for some reason, I haven't made the transition to YA yet, but I totally know exactly what you mean, because even in her older books, yeah, you can totally see it 100%. It's there.
Like, it's an energy, and like, because like Tithe, her first book was set in New Jersey, and name drops seaside, delicious orchards and stuff. Me and my friends, one, like, that was like when the Fae was having its moment in the 2000s before vampires swept in.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're all in on like local Fae, gonna frolic in the forest and be like in our like little whimsical clothing and like take photos on our digital cameras. We're all about it.
What book talkers do you watch or follow? This was a really hard question for me because I had to remember that we're talking about teen books, not adult books. So, so I also have to admit, I'm not a big book talker. I'm more of a booktuber and bookstagrammer. Don't know if that makes a difference. But yeah, this was a really hard question for me because I more go by like the algorithms and what's suggested for you. I don't have a lot that I like religiously follow. Do any of you guys?
I like, again, it's more like Instagram and YouTube, where I like a lot of like the library ones where it's, it's Wisconsin. Madison Library in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
It's Madison. Like they're hysterical. Like it's not always like a book recommendation, but like you'll see the books that they're using in the background for their props and you're like, or their displays and stuff. So I do tend to follow more like library accounts versus casual book talkers. And that like you, it's like, let the algorithm come to me. Like just send me whatever and we'll see what the algorithm thinks I should be reading.
Yeah. And then based
Yeah.
on the algorithm, they keep showing me the same people, but I don't necessarily follow them.
Yeah, I don't know who any of the people are that come up on my feed because I'm 100% relying on the algorithm and it hasn't failed me yet. But I don't follow anyone specifically, and I probably should because that would probably make things a lot easier. But if I do follow anyone, same thing. I go for other libraries and librarians to see what they're coming across.
All right, so all three of us kind of have the same approach. Like YouTube, I do follow like Lost in Adaptation, which is a guy that compares the book to the movie and like what got changed. But I think he's like my only book guy that I follow, like actually specifically with like this one person. And everything else, I'm like, come to me organically. Let me just find out what you decide to send me.
All right, I guess leading in with that, do you use Book Talk professionally, personally, or both?
It's definitely both. I want to see what the trends are of what are people going to be asking me for. Even if I don't necessarily want to read it, like I'm not going to read Forthwritten, but I do know that I knew when Onyx Storm was coming out. So I could like prepare for my answer of like, I don't know when we're getting it, but I can put you on hold. I like knowing what the trends are to know, hey, I can start getting read-alikes ready for people coming in and being like, hey, I read this because of Book Talk. Now what? So I look at professionally for that. Why personally, I feel like a lot of the times I've either know about the books already. Whatever your fourth or fifth book in your list of recommendations is normally what I'm interested in because it's the first or other popular ones. And I'm like, give me your deep cuts. What are your deep cut recommendations?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it's a little bit of both for me. Probably a little bit more professionally. I don't know. This is a really tough one because it definitely is both. I just couldn't tell you what I do more of. I'm always looking out for things that my teens are going to want to read here and trying to take into consideration, okay, who do I see all the time? What do I know what they like to read or what do they like to read? And kind of trying to cater off of that. But, yeah, maybe more professionally than personally.
I know a couple of our branches have done really cool like displays of books as seen on Book Talk and then could not keep them filled.
Yeah, I've done that before, and it's kind of scary how quick it goes, which is good, but it's like, whoa.
I'm
Yeah,
like, I love that.
Yeah.
I've made that display before, and I only have so many books to put on it, so it gets to the point where it's like a half-empty display, but
Yeah.
I guess I can't complain that the books are circulating.
Yeah.
I know for me, I definitely use it equally personally and professionally. I like to use it professionally because I find that the teens at Barnegat are very on trend with things. Most things that are popular here are what's popular on Book Talk. So I get asked a lot for romantasy. I get asked a lot for romance. I also really like knowing what's popular on social media because I like if people come up to the reference desk and they're like, "Oh, do you have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I've read that book myself. I see it all over social media." I then make that instant connection with the patron. We have something in common and I know what they're talking about, and I then make that instant connection with them. So I like it in that sense. It gives me good recommendations, and I find that it's made me a more diverse reader than I would normally have been. Before Book Talk, I feel like I've just strictly read fantasy books, but now I feel like I've branched out into different authors and different genres.
I'm currently down a weird nonfiction rabbit hole and like the algorithm like because a lot of my like TikTok stuff is sent to me by like my friends are like, here, look at the thing. And I'm like, thanks. So I think between that, it's kind of being like, do you want some like nonfiction recommendations? And I'm like, yeah, I'm already down that rabbit hole. Keep giving me more. I'm in my nonfiction moment. Book Talk is feeding that to me right now.
Oh, I love that for you. I hardly ever read nonfiction, and I hardly get asked by teens. Hardly ask me for nonfiction. I never do nonfiction displays because they don't circulate.
I'm reading a bunch of really cool nonfiction things, but like I'm recommending them to our adult customers. I'm like, the teens are not interested in this. I'm like, I am interested in it, and like I've recommended a couple things based on like, oh, this is like the thing I'm reading. Like, I have no idea what anything this is about, but it was interesting, and I was like, I will learn more. Our next question is, what kind of influence is Book Talk having on reading and library use?
Oh,
asking some hard questions.
Well, I feel like it's definitely, I guess, expanded the usage of the library, and there's a massive increase in reading in general, I think, because of Book Talk, because it's so in your face that it's kind of hard to miss. So, like Rachel was saying, it expands the things that you're interested in. And I think that really has helped increase readership, especially in teens, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and it feels like reading is trendy right now, of like, ooh, like, I'm like, you should be reading all the time anyway. Having that Book Talk tie-in of these are the books I'm reading, you should read them too. Like, it's that parasocial relationship where you're getting a recommendation from a friend. So you're like, oh yeah. I like that it feels like reading is the cool thing to do. And it's like, yes, use the library. Also, like, publishing trends. I don't know if you've been looking closely at the new books we've been getting in, but because of the Book Talkers, there's definitely been an increase in publishing. The limited edition ones and like the painted edges. Books are very pretty right now, and I'm very all for it. I'm like, I want the painted edges. I always thought those were so fancy. And like, it used to just be like gold every once in a while. Now it's like designs that tie in with the book. And the library is getting those. Like, we've gotten several, and like Island Heights is tiny. So the fact that we've gotten several books with the painted edges, and I'm like, oh, the library has the pretty editions too. It's not just Barnes & Noble exclusives.
Oh, I'm finding more and more pretty books hit our shelves and also go into stores too. I don't want to talk too much about buying books, but I'm finding, like you said, more and more books are getting the designed edges. They have character artwork on the end pages. They have maps and tip-in artwork. There's ribbon bookmarks and Barnes & Noble exclusive editions and Target exclusive editions and Walmart exclusive editions. I find that, like, authors are signing the first run of their books. Books are now like collector's items. They're not just something you read and then never pick up again. They're now collector's things. They're trophies you put on your bookshelf after you read them. And I just love that. And I find more and more people are actually going book shopping and using the library because of Book Talk, because people will go to Barnes and Nobles and film themselves picking out books off the shelves, and people think it's cool. And I love that for them. And then more people come to the library because they realize how expensive books are. So then they come to the library because it's free.
And my one friend is like down that Book Talk rabbit hole, and she's like, I have a problem. And I'm like, I work at the library. I'm like, I will just put things on hold for you. And she's like, yeah, it is a little out of control. I'm like, the books are free. So like, her personal goal is do not buy books. My now unofficial job is to be like, every time she starts talking about like, I think I'm gonna buy this, I'm like, don't do it. Your shelf is double stacked. I can't judge because mine is also double stacked, but you gave me a job of use the library instead, and I will definitely do that.
Yeah, I've had to put myself on a book buying ban because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to afford a mortgage payment after this if I keep buying books. So I'm like, yeah, I need to start using the place where I work at more. But yeah, so books are pretty now.
Yes, I've also predominantly an audiobook user, so I've seen things posted where they're like, oh, these are my audiobook trophies of like just a physical, like the joke of like, I got the physical book by listening to it, but like, here's my achievement shelf. And I'm like, don't do that to me. Especially because like I signed up for an author signing on my lunch break, and I'm like, they have the pretty special edition one. And I'm like, it's okay, I'm gonna meet the author, that's why I'm doing this. But like, there's a couple books recently that I listened to, and I'm like, oh, that's what the physical. I'm like, you don't need the physical one. You don't need the physical one. Are you going to pick it up and read it? Probably not.
Yeah, I've had to tell myself that too. Because I listen to audiobooks a lot too. I think I'm half physical, half audio. And I've had to tell myself, if I'm going to listen to it on audiobook, I don't need to spend money to get the physical book or put myself on hold at the library to get the physical book. Because I don't think I'm going to read it. I'm just going to listen to it.
This past week I had the ebook version so I could read it on my phone while out and about, and the physical copy of a book. And I'm just like walking around. I'm like, this is slightly ridiculous, but I didn't spend any money because they're both from the library.
Yeah.
But I have my book with me at all times.
I also wanted to point out that Book Talk influences reading by like bringing new life to books that were published a while ago, I'm finding. An example I have is the series Shatter Me. That first book was published in 2011, and it's so trendy on Book Talk right now, and our holds list at the library for it, there's constantly a holds list for it. Like, you have to wait for it. It's never on the shelf. I think it's like a 5-6 book series, but it's so popular right now. And for a series that was published over 10 years ago, it's very surprising.
I've noticed that too, where I'm like, oh, it's a lot of older books getting like their second win. For teen books especially, you've got 4 years of your audience before they go off to college. These books that had their moment and then like kind of went away for a little bit, and then getting that pop again of like new teen audience. For them, they're like, oh, it's brand new. Even though like for us, we're like, oh, that is over a decade old, but great. Just because it's an older book doesn't mean it's not still relevant for teens. It's not still good and enjoyable. And like also seeing what's now standing the test of time, because sometimes you read a book, especially for teens, who are like, this is going to be dated very fast, and seeing like what ends up not being super dated and like enduring and like being relevant, still present now, even like especially like anything with references. I'm like, oh, you're not going to last. The teens won't know what you're talking about in 5 years.
I find that's not the case for like fantasy books though, because there's no technology or fashion or anything that they have to worry about. So I find fantasy books can stand the test of time.
Yeah, they do pretty well. Like Scythe, I see recommended a lot, and I was like, interesting that it's recommended, because I feel like that's also like a required reading book now, because that's also 10 plus years old at this point.
I think my favorite one that constantly makes the resurgence is whenever we get the Twilight Renaissance. I think that is the one that always makes me laugh the most, because it's just so funny for it to all of a sudden seem new. And I'm like, oh no, I was your age when these books came out.
Oh yeah, I was in middle school when the Twilight movies came out. So I was prime Twilight age. But I have all the Twilight books here at Barnegat, and they're never on the shelf. They are constantly out, and I constantly get asked for them. I just feel like vampires are just trendy now all of the sudden. I don't know. It's like vampires and werewolves were all the rage when I was in middle school, and then they died out, and now all of a sudden they want vampires and werewolves again.
Yeah, like they do tend to like, I feel like cycle. Like we haven't seen zombies in a while, especially like when Walking Dead was out. I feel like we're due for zombies again soon, because we're hitting the vampire werewolves, and like after that was the Walking Dead zombies. So I'm like, give me some zombies, guys.
Oh, somebody asked me for a zombie book. I don't even know what I would recommend. What's a good zombie book?
That's the problem. Like, they're so old now. Like Rotten Ruin, I really liked. Daniel Shaw has a series that's zombie. Jonathan Mayberry, they're 10, 15 years old now. So like we don't have a lot of zombie stuff right now. But if it pops up again, it will probably like be new stuff. But like that's like the older stuff. But we only have so many copies left in the system. Like there was also the World War Z, I think we still have several copies of. There was a one where the girl was a cheerleader that was a zombie. That I was like, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, because like she kind of just like reanimated. It wasn't like traditional shuffly zombie apocalypse. Like she was the protagonist as a zombie, kind of like Disney Zombies movie, where it's like, oh yeah, we're just zombies, but we're people, and like we just eat brains. And I'm like, all right, weird choice. But then like that movie came out, I'm like, was that movie inspired by these books?
Oh yeah, I've seen that movie. It's like zombies are people too. Okay, that's cool.
The songs were such bops, and it's just like a fun vibe where I'm like, all right. Also, it's Disney, so like we're not really expecting scary. If they're like, like nightmare scary, we're like, why is this so scary, Disney?
No, Disney could never.
Oh, what was it that freaked me out as a kid? There's a couple like when you're like a little kid watching a Disney cartoon, and it's like not like, oh, Winnie the Pooh when he got stuck in like the hole. I was like traumatized from that.
I'm so
like
sorry
that kind
of that.
Disney gets them scary unintentionally, because they just like they're like, this is fine. And you're like, nope. Surprise, this is what scared a child that you didn't think would scare anyone.
The Heffalumps and Woozles.
Yeah. Oh, those were fine. I was like, I love this.
Oh, not me. They scared me so much.
Are you looking for a blast from the past? Don't forget to tune into Wheeler Talk, the history of Ocean County, a podcast brought to you by me, the local history librarian. Episodes of Wheeler Talk are released monthly right here on OCL Soundwaves. Learn about the rich history of Ocean County with topics such as shipwrecks, historic storms, Ocean County's role in the Revolutionary War, tales of local hauntings, and much, much more.
What was the last book you read because of Book Talk, but you wouldn't even give more than 2 stars? I'm going to let everyone else go first, because I feel like mine is going to be highly controversial, because I know this is a very well-loved book.
Okay, I'm about to go upset Rachel. Better than the movies.
No.
I didn't even, it was a do not finish one. Like, something about her just grated on me and annoyed me. So I didn't finish it. I was just like, I'm like, I can't do it.
Okay, I'm going to respond to that by saying I believe that not every book is for every reader. And I value your opinion. But
I like the like, it's not John Waters. 'Cause I do like John Waters movies too, but the 80s rom-com guy. His movies.
I can't help you there.
Oh no! Oh, like
I'm blanking. I know who you mean.
I know it's not John Waters. He did Hairspray and Pink Flamingos. Which I also like his stuff too. But
are you talking about John Travolta?
Not John Travolta.
Well, he's in Hairspray.
I mean, he's in the new Hairspray.
There's an old Hairspray.
Yes, with Divine.
Oh no!
Which is why I keep thinking John Waters.
Billy Crystal?
No.
He was in When Harry Met Sally in the 80s. Matthew McConaughey?
No, the director.
Director of what?
Pretty in Pink.
All the popular ones.
All the like Brat Pack, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16
Howard
Candles.
Dooch? He was the director of Pretty in Pink. John Hughes?
John Hughes.
Oh, okay. It was written by John Hughes. Okay.
There we go. Okay, the writer. So like I love like all those John Hughes movies where I'm like, I do love a rom-com. I'm gonna like this book, and I was like, I don't know why, but I just because I kept picking it up too. So it wasn't like I like gave it one try. I'd like started and I was like, not for me, not vibing with this, put it down, came back to it like a year later, and I was like, oh, it was like Groundhog Day in my brain where I didn't remember I didn't like it first. I'm like, cool. Gonna like this rom-com thing and references like the movies that I like. And then I'm just like, I don't like this. And I'm like, I don't know why I don't like this, but apparently it just does not work for me.
It is a teen romance and it is very teen. So if you don't vibe with that, you're not gonna like it.
Maybe it was just like secondhand embarrassment where I was like, I can't deal with it. I just remember like after trying 3 different times to be like, maybe I'll like it this time. And I'm like, you know what? This is not meant for me. And now I'm just like, I can't read this book. Like maybe if I try like I tried this as an audiobook too. I'm like, it's like been not finished 3 different times for me. And I'm like, one day, maybe the moon will align correctly and I'll be like, this is the moment. But it has not happened yet.
Yeah, normally I would say, oh, if you tried 3 times and it didn't work out for you, then don't. But another part of me really wants you to finish it because I love it. But when we stop the recording, if you really just want to know how it ends, I'll tell you how it ends.
I got some guesses because I have watched Pretty in Pink and all the John Hughes movies.
I think you probably know how it ends, yeah.
Yeah. I think I just need like a moment where I'm like, I just want like an easy book of like rom-com. Like now that I'm like in the like nonfiction, this is not the time for it. Like,
oh, if you're deep in nonfiction, yeah, then I don't think that's gonna be the book for you.
Because there's been other books where I've tried multiple times and like suddenly it's like, this is the moment and I like it, but like we haven't hit that time yet.
Okay, Kat, what's your controversial one?
So
is it another one I said?
Well, that was one of them too, because I couldn't get into it either. But that isn't, I'm so sorry. That is not my primary one. My big one is They Both Die at the End. Oh, that one I know what you're talking about. Popular here.
It's on my TBR. It's been on my TBR list since it came out. I'm like, I'll get there eventually. I like a sad book though.
So do I. So I really thought I was going to like it, but there was something about this book where I could not get past the first chapter. And I have tried, I think I've gone 6 times where I've taken this book out. And I'm like, okay, we're finally going to sit down and read it. Get to the end of the first chapter. Nope. Let it sit for a while. Come back to it. Let's try this again. Nope. So I don't know if it's a little too trippy for me because definitely there's so much happening, but I can't do it. And I know that one's pretty popular here. And I know so many people really love that series, but nope, can't do it. It's a DNF every single time for me.
That's a tough one. I haven't read too many Book Tok books that I really can say I did not like. There was This Woven Kingdom that I can't say it was below 2 stars. I'd probably give it like 3.5 stars. But with how trendy it is on social media, I had really high expectations of it. I didn't DNF it. I did get through it. I read the first one. I read the second one. The third one's out. I haven't read it yet. And now there's apparently a 4th one coming out. And it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. But I can't say I didn't like it. I guess it just didn't meet my expectations of it.
Oh, I feel like that's possibly like an easy thing to have happen with like Book Tok books because they get so hyped. Where you're like, oh, everyone loves this. And I feel like ACOTAR can fall into that too. Like I read it before the Book Tok pop. And then I was like seeing how like it's good, I enjoy it, but I'm like, oh, I don't love it that way. They're just very long, and I would like them to be like shortened up a little bit. Also, book 2 is better than book 1. So like if you're like, oh, I tried ACOTAR and like it's Beauty and the Beast meets what's the other half of it? It's like like Beauty and the Beast and something else smushed together. I'm like, just get to the next book. Book 2 is better.
That's the case with Throne of Glass too. Like Throne of Glass sets up the rest of the series. You can't judge the whole series on the first book. Even book 2 is okay, like it's stating to the rest of the series, and then once you get to the third one, that's when things start happening and it starts to get good.
Yeah, I feel like she has like reverse sophomore slump, especially in trilogies, or like book 2 just is like setting up like book 1's really good, and then book 2 is like set up. So like, it's okay, and then book 3 is good. Her beginning's a little rocky, and then the rest of it gets better.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I'm like, okay, like it's a different trend, like because normally whenever it's like, oh, it's a trilogy, I'm like, okay, book 2 is not gonna be that great. Just lower your expectations for book 2. It's all set up for book 2. Our next question is, what Book Talk book or books is still on your TBR list?
Well, I have a whole list of them. Should I just read the list? I have a whole list. What do I have on my list? I have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. That one I really want to read. I have Light Lark by Alex Astor. A lot of these are romantic-y books because that's usually my go-to genre, that and romance. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I'm so sad I haven't gotten to this one yet because I hear nothing but great things about it. And I read Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross, and that was like a 5-star book for me. So I don't know why I haven't gotten to that one yet. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black I have not read yet. And I want to, 'cause it's about fairies and stuff. And I was like, oh, I would love that. And I just haven't gotten to it yet. It's still sitting there in the pile. The Inheritance Games I haven't gotten to yet. And then I have Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. Because I hear great things about Allie Hazelwood. And she's such a diverse author, too. And that's her one YA book that she read. And I have high expectations of her. And I think it would be cool. And it's about chess players.
My list is a little bit shorter, which is surprising. I'm looking at it now and I'm like, oh, I've gotten through a chunk of these. I definitely also have the Belladonna series on my TBR. I look at those books all the time and I'm like, yeah, today's going to be the day I finally pick it up. Never do. Another one that I kind of want to read, and actually it's a little bit more from my teens that have come in, is the reappearance of Rachel Price. I'm not really a mystery person, but for some reason, I guess it's because I see my teens get so hyped over it, and then I see what goes on Book Talk that makes me go, okay, I also need to read this and see what everyone is so excited about.
That's another Holly Black book, isn't it? Oh, not Holly Black.
No, Holly Jackson.
Holly Jackson, another Holly. Yes. Yeah, okay. So I would have high expectations of that one, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then another one I have is We Were Liars. Every time I read the premise and I see someone talking about it, that's another one where I'm like, okay, yeah, eventually. Will I get to it anytime soon? Probably not, but it's definitely on my list to read at some point, hopefully before the end of the year, but we'll see. The list is always growing.
That's the bad thing about Book Talk is you're like, yeah, I'm going to get through all of them by the end of the year. And then some other book takes your priority away from that.
Yes, 100%.
Between Book Talk and like working in the library, you're just like, the list is ever growing, and you're like, I don't have enough hours in the day. I get recommended Sarah Gailey books all the time. They're all on my TBR list of like, I'll get there eventually. I found her originally from someone doing a speculative fiction, because she did one where there was at one point going to be, there was a bill proposed to have hippos in the bayous in Louisiana. So it's called River of Teeth, and I loved it. And then I'm like, oh, the algorithm like seems to know like Sarah Gailey is the way to go. So like her stuff gets recommended to me all the time. So I just have like, I will come back to you eventually. So I'm like, oh, she'll pop up. So like right now I'm like, my next book eventually will be like An Upright Woman, which is it's an adult book, but she does also have YA books. And I'm like looking at the list, I'm like, it's Sarah Gailey. Of course that one's the one. I'm like, I want to read that one. So that one's like my big, like just more Sarah Gailey in general. Because I'm like, I love her stuff. They're so much fun.
I'm now imagining people dropping hippos into the bayou in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like, what was the plan behind that? I'm just
It was-
imagining them taking a crane and latching a hippo onto it and then just dropping it in the bayou.
Yeah, like it doesn't go into like super detail other than like James Buchanan was the one that had approved it. In real life, shot that down. I'm like, no. So instead of like riding horses, the cowboys are like riding hippos. And hippos are scary and are really aggressive toward people.
Yeah, they're
Like there's
very
like
territorial.
yeah.
Like,
yeah, and super like so like there's feral hippos that like are part of the plot of like you might die if you fall off this boat.
is this
So
like
like
a dystopian novel?
it's a little
Like, don't tell me
dystopian.
this
Like,
is realistic.
it's more speculative fiction. So like, what if this actually got approved?
Okay,
So it's
okay.
kind of like
Huh.
fairly anchored into like an alternate version of history. They're on like a fun crime heist.
With hippos in the bayou?
But he was the bayou as a horse, like their getaway. It's like at one point a hippo gets stolen. It's a whole thing.
What?
Someone's hippo gets stolen, and like I have a reasonable fear of horses because they're
Well, now
big
you
and
have
they
a
look
reasonable
cute.
fear of hippos.
Yeah, and like instead, like I'm like, look, horses are fast. They can trample you. They don't want you, but they can throw you and you can get injured. I'm like, oh, the hippos actually do want to kill you. Like they don't want you in their territory. So yeah, a hippo at one point gets stolen, so they have to get like the hippo back. Like it is wild. So like from that alone, I keep being like every time Sarah Gailey shows up on a list of like check out one of her books, and I'm like, yes, Sarah Gailey, give me more. And then I have not read any of her other books, so I'm just like one day I'll circle back around to you. Also, Scythe, which we mentioned earlier, I still have not read, despite the teens at the library being real aggressive of like, you have to read it. Read the first one, don't read anything else. And I'm like, okay. And then like I feel like a lot of the stuff is like, here's a bunch of dystopian things. And it keeps coming up in there too. I'm like, Scythe, one day I'll get to you as well.
Oh yeah, I had to read Scythe for school. I've only read the first one. I really didn't have an interest in reading the other ones. It was good. I do recommend that you read it. It was good. Definitely not one of my favorite books, but I can see the hype and why some people choose to like it so much.
The teens are brutal about like book 2 is not good. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, then I think a lot of it right now is just like, do you want to read nonfiction? And I'm like, that's weird rabbit hole nonfiction stuff. And then like a lot of like dystopian is getting recommended to me too. Or like a lot of it's like required reading for school. So I'm like, I've already read those.
I want us to play that popular Book Talk game. I'll name a book that's overhyped, one that's underhyped, and one that we think is appropriately hyped. And we'll preface this again by saying not every book is for every reader. So if we think your book is overhyped, don't come at us. I'll start with this one. Okay, so for my overhyped one, I'd like to explain how I defined overhyped. I didn't define overhyped as in I didn't like this book. I just see this book and this author all over social media, and it's getting to the point where I'm like, I know this book exists, I know that it's good, and I want to see other things. So I think Sarah J. Maas is way too overhyped, and I'm not saying they're not good. I love the Throne of Glass series. I've given all the books I've read so far 5 stars. I just see her all over, and I'd like to see other things. And I see fan artwork and merchandise and that all over social media, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. My underhyped one, I have My Life with the Walter Boys. I'm actually very surprised this book isn't more hyped because there's a series on Netflix about it. I thought it was very good. I highly recommend it. It's another teen romance book, but I thought it was very good. I also put down Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim as being very underhyped, especially because I get asked a lot for Greek mythology and mythology books. And Six Crimson Cranes is inspired by Asian folklore, which is similar, but it is a very good book, and I think it's definitely underhyped. One that I think is appropriately hyped, I put down Powerless by Lauren Roberts, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and I put down Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. No one has to comment on that if you don't want to, but I already explained why I like those books so much.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the ACOTAR thing.
I am also tired of seeing ACOTAR, especially since I read them so long ago, like before the hype, where I'm like, oh, cool, they're getting attention. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of it. My overhyped one is Better Than the Movies, but that's because maybe my opinion will change when I can finally read all the way through it. Underhyped Legendborn, the King Arthur retelling. And then appropriately hyped is the Holly Black Cruel Prince series. Often, like, I see it like lumped in with alternative options where like you managed to read it through the thousands of pages of ACOTAR. So I feel like appropriately hyped level of like Cruel Prince, underhyped Legendborn, and then overhyped for better than the movies. But that's definitely biased because I have not been able to enjoy it.
I do agree that Legendborn is underhyped. I think that book was super popular when it first came out, and I have that book at home, and I just haven't read it yet. But it was super popular when it came out, and the third one I think just came out like last month or this month maybe. And since the new book came out, it got another hype again. There was another spike. I don't think it's super hype, but there was another spike in it now that the new book came out. Now I have to read it before the trend dies down again with it.
I'm hoping it like gets a little bit more hype, but like also your 6 Crimson Cranes. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. I'm like, I loved that book.
Oh yeah, it's
and like
super
I
good.
book talked that to like so many classes when it came out. I was like, let me tell you how great this book is. So like I was like aggressively championing it.
It's like an epic fantasy, but it's not too intense, and the storyline isn't that complicated. It's a very easy fantasy read.
I feel like even if it's not less than 300 pages, it does not feel long.
No,
that makes sense.
It doesn't.
Like,
yeah,
appropriately paced and the appropriate length. It doesn't feel like she padded anything out for like runtime.
Oh no, there's no
She's just like,
fluff
"We're
in
here."
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want something that moves fast,
Mm-hmm.
6 Crimson Cranes.
My overhyped book is Powerless. I just could not get into it, and I feel like I've seen it so many times. But for some reason, I feel like when it's on Book Talk, no one really fully explains what it's about. They're just like, you have to read this book. And then that's all you get. And I've tried giving it a go. And it's strange that I don't like it because I really like fantasy. But that one wasn't for me. My underhyped book isn't even so much book, but an author. I feel like Emma Lord should be mentioned more often because she has some really sweet rom-com books. Some of them are a little dated, like tweet cute, but that one's also really funny. And I think I'm a little biased because even though I'm older, I think just the fact that Twitter is such a primary part of the book, it makes a little bit more sense for me, but it's really cute. And then for appropriately hyped, I feel like the Inheritance Games deserves the hype that it gets because it's so well written and there's so many different pieces of the story where even if you think you know what the twist is, you might be surprised. And I found myself pleasantly surprised so many times reading that entire series.
Yeah, I read The Getaway List by Emma Lord last summer.
Mm-hmm.
And that just did not have my heart like Lynn Painter does. It was good. I think I gave that one 3 stars, 3.5 stars. Like, it was good,
Okay.
but it just didn't vibe with me like other romance books do.
That's totally fair. I feel like that's how it is for most rom-com books, where it either hits the way that you want it to or something's off the mark.
Yeah, I think we've proven that in this podcast. We've proven
I've read other
Maybe a
rom-com
little
books with her. Now, I like that you mentioned like it's just an author. Like, I would love to see A.S. King. I've been reading her forever because I went to college out near Reading, and she's from Reading, Pennsylvania. So like we had her come speak at the college. So like she had like 3 books out at the time, and she keeps writing a lot of books. And she's like a mellower version of Francesca Leah Block. Magical realism, and it's weird, but it's a lot of symbolism. So like I always love her stuff when I read it. I feel like honestly she probably would do better on Tumblr because that's where all the weird girlies are hanging out. But like I want like her stuff to like get that like pop of like, even though it's weird, like it's grounded enough. She had one about like time stopping and like time just froze, and she had written it pre-pandemic because it came out like real early, like late 2020 or early 2021, and like the only way that was going to happen. So it's like super just coincidentally timely of like, yeah, the world just kind of froze, and it's like a symbolism of like family trauma and stuff. So like her stuff is weird, but like if you're paying attention, you're like, oh, this is all just symbolism of like making a huge allegory metaphor about like different situations. So like I want her stuff to get like more recognition of like, yeah, it's weird, but like it's really good. I want more weird books recommended.
So you like nonfiction books and weird books.
Yeah,
Got
and
it.
like I kind of all over the place, but like once I hit a rabbit hole, I'm like, I've been reading nonfiction books for like 3 months now, and I'm like, I'll get out of this eventually. But like right now, I'm reading Dress Diary, where it's just like a woman has a 18th century like fabric scrap diary of like a woman's dresses and like stuff she was making and selling. And it's like her doing like the research into like who is this woman and like the trends of the time. And I'm like, I'm here for this. Yeah, this is where we're at. I'm like, yeah, give me like the weird recommendations of nonfiction stuff right now.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm like, this is super interesting. Like, tell me how you like reverse engineered who this woman even was because it wasn't signed. Yeah, I'm like not even 10% of the way through it. I'm like, I am so invested in this.
That sounds really fun, actually.
Yeah, like we do it. Like, so I was like, oh, I'm like, there's probably pictures, so I had to get like the physical copy of it, so I can be like, show me the picture.
Show me everything.
So it's like sitting on my desk, like waiting for me. Like,
I'm kind of surprised that My Life with the Walter Boys isn't hyped up more than it is, just because it started on Wattpad. That would make it more on Book Tok just from that alone, because it's someone who started on Wattpad and then eventually got picked up for publishing. I feel like that should be talked about more, because that is a start for so many people now.
I do love that trend of like Wattpad stuff getting published. Back in the day, you would kind of like hide that, like you wouldn't talk about it. Like I'm always on here being like, let me talk about fan fiction. Like I don't care, I'm not cool. But like those are the things that you like didn't publicize to people. And now it's like, yeah, this is on Wattpad. And they have like a lot of rom-com-y like stuff on there. And it's just so primed because like the girls writing on Wattpad should have such a good transition into like Book Tok and promoting their own stuff on and getting it hype. Like it has like the same energy and vibe. So like, yeah, there should be more of that.
Yeah, 100%. It's there. Use it. Let's go for it. Let's get more Wattpad on Book Tok.
Yes.
Totally for it.
So our last question is, if Book Tok were to disappear completely today, where do you think it would move to?
I feel like somebody else would come up with an app for recommending books. Somebody would do that. I don't know.
So I'm currently getting recommended aggressively by Book Tok, Bookly, which is...
Oh, I see that all over too.
And
I've never seen that one.
Okay, so it's
supposed to be better than Goodreads.
That's
right?
what they're telling me. Yeah. And I'm like, look, the commitment to Bookreads is several thousands of books deep at this point. I was an early adapter of Goodreads, so I'm like, this has over a decade worth of records. Like, I can't emotionally do it. Like,
and how much time would it take you to move them all over to Bookly?
I know. I'm like, this needs to be someone's like new to recording their stuff. Because I had Library Thing and there was Shelfari before Goodreads, and I had both of those. Because I like Shelfari because it was really pretty and you could like physically, it was very graphic. Able to export them and then import them into Goodreads when like Shelfari I think got bought out and then like crushed by Goodreads, and then that got bought out by Amazon. I was like, I've already done this once and it was much fewer books. I'm like, I can't imagine doing that with my like 400 book TBR list. Like just the TBR list alone is out of control. But like I'm like, I want to explore this, but I'm also like, I don't have the bandwidth right now. And the longer I wait, the worse it is.
Yeah. Do either of you think that Bookstagram and BookTube would be more where people go, or do you think it would be another app that someone would decide to go for? Because BookTube and Bookstagram have been around for so long, but I don't know that they would pick up the same way that they used to.
I don't think they're going to pick up the same way. I think it would be a new app, especially because the youth do not want to be where the olds are. It's true. Like,
that's true.
I talk to the teens and I'm like, I know, I'm a million years old. It's fine. Like,
I know. It's like these teens are like, what? You still use Facebook? Like, who uses Facebook anymore?
Yeah. And I'm like, guys, I have to. Like, it's too, like, we've committed to this.
So, like, I do think eventually, like, Book Tok and Bookstagram are going to die out. Just like Facebook. Like, it's a generational thing. But I don't think they're going to anytime soon. I think maybe eventually somebody will come up with the ultimate book recommendation and tracking app.
Because Snapchat now has, like, videos.
Oh.
The trajectory of Snapchat is wild to me. Of like,
Snapchat.
I was like, that was the thing
I used.
Yeah, I was like, you used it when you were in college for like temporary things or like things that you didn't want your parents to see on the Facebook. But now it has like videos and stuff, and like you can make things public. And I'm like, huh, weird choice. And I'm like, I honestly just send pictures of my food to my friends because I'm like, I don't need to keep this forever, but I want you to know my cool meal. But they've got videos now, so I'm like, maybe that. Because they've mini series, like short form TV shows on there.
So it sounds like they're just trying to compete with Instagram. If
It's
people
weird.
aren't using it then, I don't see why they would transition to it.
Yeah, so like
You know,
probably just a new app entirely. Because like one of the teens mentioned Snapchat, and I was like, what year is this? Like you are not old enough to be using Snapchat because generationally you're just not the right age for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's going to just be like someone invents a new app.
So I think all the librarians in the world should sit down, brainstorm this, and we should all make an app. Problem solved.
And then the teens will tell us it's not cool enough, and we'll be like,
Yeah, probably.
we'll be like, well, correct. It's made by a bunch of adult librarians. So like we haven't been cool, possibly in my case, ever.
So we can have a tab for the app. There we go. Problem solved. Then they can make it cool.
Yeah, there we go. Instead of the tab forum, we're just going to be like, we're going to collectively have you guys make an app.
Wait, I love that.
I do too.
That would be fantastic.
That would be great because a lot of the teens want to learn coding. Like this would be like the best large scale.
Yes. Wait, I love this. We need to figure out how to do this. This is a great idea. We're gonna pioneer it here.
All right. Is there any other books or Book Talk books that we want to shout out before we end?
No, because you guys don't like mine.
But
No, I think but seriously, I think I've mentioned most of the ones that I liked. I don't think I have any others.
Yeah, same. I think I hit the mark with the ones that I really enjoy.
Same. The problem is my TBR list is out of control. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What is that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I need more hours in a day so I can read.
Don't we
I
all?
know, and I feel like I need to take a week off from work so I can read Fourth Wing. That book is way too long, and I feel like that's why I've been avoiding reading it.
Oh, Fourth Wing, my favorite.
I see it come in, and I'm like, who has time for this? It's too long.
Oh, I finished that in 8 hours.
Fourth Wing?
Yes. Every single one I have read the same day it's come out.
That is crazy.
It's a bit wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to read it because I want to understand the references. But I'm a very slow reader, and I'm like, how long is it going to take me to now get up to book 3 we're on now? I'm just always going to be behind.
No, you've got time till the 4th book comes out, so don't worry.
Oh,
She's
it's not
taking a
coming
break.
out in the fall.
No, she's taking a break. I don't think we're
Okay.
going to see it until maybe 2027. So you have plenty of time.
Okay, I have more hope in me then.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have all the faith in the world for you. You will
Thank you.
get to it.
Okay, I needed that. Thank you.
I believe in you. I open up Kindle and like watching the estimated read time just like triple based on like,
I had-
oh, this will start, and I'm like, don't call me out like this. I know I'm really slow at reading. That's why I listen to audiobooks.
When I got my Kindle, I had to take off time it'll take you to read this book. I had to take that off because it made me feel bad about myself.
No.
Like, I had to say how many pages. I think I turned it to percentage, like the percentage I'm through the book.
That's what I do
Because
too.
I'm like, I can't sit there and watch it go up because I'm reading too slow.
Oh, I think I use it as a personal challenge. It's awful.
I know. Like every once in a while, I'm like, do I have time to read this chapter? I'll do it with that. And I'm like, I don't know why I asked myself this question. I know the answer is no, unless there's like 2 pages left.
Oh no.
That's why I listen to audiobooks. It's okay.
It works.
All right,
Okay, I think we can-
everything. Yeah. All right, I will see you guys next time.
Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to check out the Ocean County Library's website for more podcasts and events. All titles mentioned in today's episode can be found through the Ocean County Library, free with your library card. Until next time, happy reading.
Hello, adventurers. If you enjoy this content, please take a look at the Ocean County Library's new podcast called Forge Your Imagination, a guide to immersive world building. This new podcast is dedicated to helping creative individuals design their own expertly crafted worlds for books, games, Dungeons & Dragons, and more. Tune in on the first Wednesday morning of every month to learn more. Thanks for listening, and safe travels, adventurers.